So for anybody that is interested, I have my original transmission Crossmember for sale. It's on sale on eBay for 40 bucks, but if anybody wants to meet up with me and purchase it, I'll give it to you guys for 20. What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to be sharing the story of me buying this Foxbody. So I bought this car back in 2013. I saw an ad on Craigslist. The car was up for $2,500. I messaged the guy and said that I wanted to see the car in person. So I messaged the guy, he gave me his information, and a couple days later, I went out and drove to, I forget, I think it's somewhere in Northridge where I bought the car. So I went over there, I saw the car in person, and the first thing that I noticed was the car had the black interior. And the second thing that I noticed was it had, the rear bumper was cut and it kind of looked like the Cobra bumper in a way. So I met up with the guy, and first thing I noticed was the paint was completely shot. It seemed like the car needed some kind of paint correction. The guy, I don't know, he just didn't seem honest when I first approached him. While he was selling the car, and he basically said that, you know, he didn't have enough room for the car, and I looked over in his driveway and he was driving a GTO. So I don't think this guy was a Ford guy. So I took the car out for a drive, and the first mistake that I did was not drive it on the freeway. I just took it on the streets for the test drive. I didn't drive too far. So when I drove back to his house, I asked him if the car had any issues, if it was leaking, if it leaked oil, and he told me no. So I looked underneath and the oil pan seemed pretty dry and it looked pretty clean. At the time, the car did have cosmetic issues, and it still does to this day. Like, for example, it has the cracked front bumper, and the fender right here on the driver's side is completely bent. Anyways, the interior was missing a couple of pieces and stuff like that, and the guy just didn't seem honest whenever I would ask him certain questions. I bought the car, I knew the car was gonna be a project car, so that's why I didn't have any issue when it came to like the cosmetic and certain things, because I knew I was gonna pour some money into it. So first thing I did, I drove it to the gas station, I put gas in it, and then I drove it home. The car was up for $2,500, so I negotiated $2,000, so I bought the car for $2,000. So I parked the car when I got home, and the next day I noticed oil leak. So I had asked him the day before if there was any leaks, and he said no. So I looked underneath and the oil pan was leaking. The thing that I noticed that was leaking was the steering rack, and there was a little bit of coolant on the ground. He basically lied to me and said that the car was completely clean and it wasn't leaking anything. Today I decided to drive it on the freeway, and the car, I was not able to drive the car on the freeway because it would shake so bad. So I drove it on the freeway and I had to get off on the first exit because it felt like the car was gonna fall apart. The first thing that I noticed when I got home was one of the sway bar brackets on the passenger side was missing. The sway bar was in place, but the bracket on the driver's side was not bolted on. So it was weird, it was kind of angled, sway bar. And the second thing that I noticed was the rear upper control arm was missing bolt. So it was just dangling there. So it was really, really dangerous. Pretty sure the previous owner noticed all this stuff, but he didn't mention it to me. So he basically lied to me about the car when I first bought it. The thing that was missing on the car was the fog lamp bracket. So I went to the junkyard and I picked that up for about 10-15 bucks. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I paid $2,000 for this car. The previous owner seemed kind of shady. He didn't know much about these Foxbodies. He didn't know that reverse didn't have any synchronizers in it. He thought the transmission was busted, but that worked to my benefit because I was able to get $500 discount. My tip to you guys is to make sure to drive the car on the freeway, see if there's any type of vibration or anything like that. And most likely anybody that's going to be selling you a car, they're going to try to hide its negatives. Comment below and let me know your guys' first experience when purchasing your first Foxbody or purchasing a Foxbody. There it is, guys. I hope you guys have a good weekend. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.